Over there, Vic. Hello, City Church. Happy Easter to everybody. Welcome today. Nice to see you all. My name is Scott, and this is my wife, Suzy. We have 2 children, Noah and Hannah. And while our family only started attending City Church just 5 months ago, it's hard to imagine life without coming here consistently now. But it wasn't always like this. It wasn't very long ago when Sundays for us simply consisted of sleeping in, catching up on errands, chores, just typical things that people would do. I guess it was no surprise that our family life reflected the same routines we were accustomed to growing up with our parents. We were both raised Catholic, and while our families were devout, it often felt like it was more of a mandatory thing to go to church and not so much of an enjoyable one. Attendance often felt more important than actually learning and living our faith in God. And so, by the time we were young adults, it was pretty easy to let our faith get away from us, and so it did. Not to mention that in September of 2013, I had tragically lost my brother to a horrific drowning accident at the age of just 33. This experience shook me to my core. I loved my brother very dearly. He was a compassionate, loving, and thoughtful spirit. So ultimately, deep sadness and grief took over every part of me, and this shocking loss and so suddenly, unexpectedly, only made the gap between myself and God feel even greater.
When we had kids, we sensed a pull to raise our children in the church. So we gave it another shot. We found ourselves doing the same things our parents did to us, shushing us in the pews and forcing them to sit miserably through messages none of us were truly listening to, never giving a second thought to our faith until the next Sunday rolled around. Here we were, repeating the same cycle of indifference and mindlessness that our faith with our own children. It didn't take long until we once again strayed away from the church, this time in our adult years, now for the second time in our lives. Fast forward 9 years of discontentment and living in this void, all of a sudden our son Noah was about to step in those daunting teenage years. I don't know if there are any other parents of teenagers in the room that can relate, but we needed all the help we can get. And it searched to find all the right answers and the perfect teenage manual. We saw it as vital to once again find a connection with God. But where? And more than just location, could we find a way to grab the attention of our teenage son and our 8-year-old daughter?
One Google search changed everything for us. Myself, I simply searched Bible Study Mississauga and stumbled across a city school course right here at the church. Understanding the Bible seemed like a good place to start in this new desire for connection. I dropped into the church midweek to sign up for the course, and I didn't even dare to attend a church service on a Sunday. I didn't believe that I was quite ready for that just yet. And while I was nervous and unsure of what I was stepping into, every hospitable and positive encounter with the wonderful City Church staff here and community broke down my walls little by little and continued to spark curiosity. I remember when I asked Suzy, when Suzy, my wife, asked me what I thought of that place, all I could tell her was that everyone I met was so kind and carried a great energy about them. With that feedback, my wife suggested attending an actual church service. It couldn't be that bad, right? I was learning things in class. It was a good community. The people were kind. So we decided to give it a chance and check it out.
At our first service, our daughter Hannah literally demanded that we sit in the very front row and at the center stage, no less. She would not take no for an answer. You can imagine how surprised we all were to see drums on stage, guitars playing, and dancing singers on the stage. As funny as it was, Hannah and Noah were terrified at first. They had only ever been exposed to monotone, old-fashioned hymns, so all of that was a culture shock to them. It was like sitting at the front row of a rock concert. But once that initial shock wore off, it was most definitely awesome as well as refreshing. We quickly learned that having a true and deep encounter with Jesus changes everything. Before finding him, we were just going through the routines of life, seeking a larger purpose, but never actually finding it. While we were happy with our family and kids, there was still a definite void. We tried filling the void as most people do with television, our work, our friends, or even online. But we now realize that it cannot be found in any of those other places, only with God.
For the first time in our life, the entire family actually looks forward to going to church every Sunday rather than dreading it, which is an unimaginable reality just a few short months ago. We have a teenage son who runs ahead of us, actually in front to get up to the city youth, and our daughter who is making new friends with city kids. Discovering a true relationship with Jesus has become the ultimate game changer for our family. Although there are many of them, the greatest lesson we've learned is to fully seek after God. Matthew 5 says that we are to love God with all of our heart, our soul, and our mind. And that's really been the journey our family has been on the past couple of months now. We have accepted the invitation to fully know our loving God, and in the process, we have come to love life more and enjoy being a part of this church community. We love you, City Church, and happy Easter, everyone. Thank you.
Easter.